We live?
What? We are live. What? Oh, look at that. I forgot to put our names up there again, just in case someone doesn't know what our names are. Guess what? I forgot how to do it, Gray. What's up, Gray?
What's up, man? They don't want to know.
To see how to do this, man. I don't even remember now. Anyway, what's going on? Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to breaking down the headlines and getting prepared for what is it? The collapse, right? Yeah. My name is Alaska Prepper, Rudy, aka Alaska Prepper, and this guy over here is Gray Man. Gray Man right there. Where is it?
There we go.
What's up, man? How you doing? Man. Busy, man. Busy, huh? Both of us barely made it onto the live today.
Yeah, I feel like exhausted, like I've done some backbreaking work over the last couple of days, man. It's gardening season for a lot of folks, you know what I mean? And we're jumping in it. I did a garden video last week with the carrots, which worked out well for us, but of course we got so much more to do to get going because time's a ticking, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, I hear you, man. Let me see something. Someone says that the thumbnail said that the show was supposed to start at 2 p.m. No, I don't see anything on the thumbnail that says 2 p.m.
Okay.
I don't see anything. Just make sure I didn't goof up earlier. But anyways, what's up? How's everyone doing? I hope everyone had a great Mother's Day weekend, especially for all you mothers out there. Did you guys do anything special for Mother's Day?
Us, the family? Yeah, we did. The wife loves nature just as much as I do. So we spent a lot of time hiking, going through trails. We took food with us so that we can find a nice spot in the woods and just kind of converse with, converse with one another and just enjoy. Speaking of which, I wish I would have brought the footage with me. We were walking through a trail. We cut across this one trail, and this falcon comes out of nowhere with this huge black snake in his talons, and he's sitting up there eating it, and we're videoing it like, wow, this is crazy.
That's awesome,
yeah,
man.
It was awesome, man.
Awesome.
It was a lot of fun, man. It's always great to spend time with the family and just make memories, man.
Yeah, well, we actually stayed home. We're pretty lucky. We have a really good friend who is a finishing carpenter. So he doesn't do like framing and stuff like that, but he does the finishing. So, and he's an expert tilesman. So he was working on our kitchen doing the backsplash, the tile on the backsplash. So I ended up cooking a whole bunch of oxtail, and some rice con arroz con gandules. And then he was working on the backsplash there, doing things around the house. But we spent pretty much the whole day, in the house with him and the family and everything. So it was a good day altogether. For me, it was a great day because I like staying home. I'm a homebody.
Well, I look at it. I either prefer to stay home and do things around the house or go in the woods. Those two are my favorite things. Outside of that, there's not much else I'd like to do. I wanted to share this with you, Rudy. And I guess the rest of the folks. I met one of my wife's friends that she hasn't seen in a while. And come to find out she's an avid gardener, but also huge into canning, pressure canning and all that stuff like that. She's been doing it since her grandma's been doing it and her mother's been doing it. She's like, well, I'll come over and do a canning party with you. And instead of watching YouTube, we'll do it hands on and you can watch my process. And I was like, absolutely, I'll take that offer. So I'm looking forward to that.
Someone here asked if I know the Canadian prepper and the gentleman from what is it, Full Spectrum Survival, Ingrid. I don't know them personally, but I'm subscribed to both of their channels. I'm not sure if you meant, do I know them personally? No, absolutely not.
I know his name is Nate.
Yeah, the Canadian prepper's name is Nate, and I think Full Spectrum is Brad. I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. There's a lot of folks that we intermingle with and we know of, but we don't know, like, we're not like best friends, you know, like me and Rudy.
Well, check this out, great. Michael asked, Rudy, the food you made sounds great. It was great. And I have a story about the oxtail. So here about, I don't know, about a week and a half ago or so, if you'll remember telling you almost a year ago or a little over a year ago that I had put an order in for a half of a side of beef. And it was a 1.5 year waiting list. So, but the lady that I got my name on the list, you know, the lady that I put the order in with, she said, give me a call in about a year and see where we're at. And maybe you'll get lucky and some people may have canceled, right? So I give her a call at exactly the 1 year mark, which was the 25th of April, right? Last month. So it's been about a couple weeks. And she's like, yeah, we're good to go. So they deliver up here to Fairbanks every Thursday. They deliver to Fairbanks. So I went to pick up my half a beef. And when I was there, I asked them, I was like, hey, do you all do oxtail? And they were like, no, we don't. And they're like, no one's ever asked if we do oxtail. And I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, what do you do with them? They're like, we just put them in the compost. I almost fainted, man. I almost fainted. So I ended up asking them, I'm like, would you please save up, 5-10 pounds of oxtail and I'll buy it from you on the next trip just to see how they are. That way, if I like theirs, I'll buy them. It's a little more expensive with there. Actually, it's about 50% more expensive with them for the oxtail than it is buying it from Costco. But if I can buy it from them, knowing exactly what I'm getting, because they do no hormones, no, all those other stuff that they put in animals. They don't do any of that. It's all natural or organic beef down from Delta Junction here in Alaska. So if I know that getting it from them, I'm getting really good pure beef and I have to pay a little more, so be it. It just happens that the rest of the cow only averages out at about $6.50 a pound, which is really good. That's on average, because you have some cuts of meat there that are $25 a pound, like ribeye and porterhouse and stuff like that, right? So that's a great average, but the beef tail is a little more expensive because they're more time consuming. So anyways, I asked him, I was like, well, is there any way that you can get me some? And she was like, well, it's kind of like not worth our time. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's meat that you can sell. And they're like, well, what happens is we have to sanitize the tail. We have to skin the tail, and then we have to cut all of the individual, parts of the oxtail and then package it, freeze it, and then deliver it. And I'm like, well, that does sound time consuming. So it ends up coming out to like $9 a pound, which is about $2 to $3 a pound more than Costco. But I'll tell you what, Gray, that was some delicious oxtail. I ended up cooking about half of it, about 4 or 5 pounds of it, when my friend came over, and I sent a whole bunch with him home for his wife. And good stuff. I just wish that they would like sell it to me unskinned so that I can do it myself. But anyways, they can't do that because they're a business and they can't do that kind of stuff. So I understand. But anyways, had oxtail and it was delicious.
That is nice.
I've never met an oxtail I didn't like.
There's always so many regulations with the government when it comes to food. It's like
too bad.
Yeah, there's a lady that does elderberry syrup here locally, and she has to order it from overseas. The elderberry itself, she can't use the elderberry that she grows on her property to produce the elderberry syrup that she sells. Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah, that's regulation. And that's one thing that people don't understand is that, getting into this can be so intricate, but just putting it plainly, we already exist, at least here in the United States. We already exist in somewhat of a, what do you call it? Socialist, I guess you can say. or fascist. You know, when businesses are integrated with, that's what fascism is, right? When businesses are integrated with the government,
Pretty
you know,
much.
yeah, that's pretty much what it is, right? And the reason I say that is because yes, the government can't just say you have to do this, you have to produce X number of gadgets this week. No, the government can't say that, right? But what they do is they take over businesses by regulations. Take a
Absolutely.
look at all of the regulations that exist on everything, and every regulation that exists on anything is a tax on the consumer. Why? Because regulations take money in order to be adhered to, and that money that it costs to follow those regulations are passed down to the consumers. So people don't understand that regulations are a tax on we the people.
You know, I was watching your live stream Friday. Of course, I don't talk because I can't. I'm at work, so I can't type a bunch of hellos and stuff like that.
Well,
And
I
that
know
was
how it is, Gray. The only time we see you on my live streams on Fridays is when I'm giving away silver.
absolutely. Then I will literally turn the door and put a sign. I'll be back in 10 minutes, kind of thing. Um, but I was watching it, and the reason I was watching, I was like, well, if this coronal mass ejection, this G5 storm that's here, KP9, I mean, I was watching it because I had the app, the Suspicious Observer app, and it was constantly updating. I said, if Rudy loses the live stream, then I know it's something to be worried about because he's in Alaska, so you're getting like that brunt of it first before everybody else. And you lasted the whole thing, man. So I was like, all right, we're good.
You know, I was very, very happy about these solar storms this weekend. I talked about it briefly on this morning's news video. And I was very happy that we got a good, strong solar storm, like a consistent, long, and strong solar storm, because we are now able to better prepare. I've heard so many times that, oh, all of these houses are going to burn up. Oh, your solar generators are going to blow up,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I'm not saying that that's not a possibility with a big enough solar storm, but we had a solar storm today that was the biggest in what, 19 or 20 years, in 21 years since 2003.
Yeah.
That was the
Since
biggest solar
Halloween, I
storm
think.
or the biggest flare that we've had since 2003. That was a pretty big flare. That was like an X5, I believe, an
Yeah,
X5 or something like that. That's
it
a
was
pretty big. That's like halfway up the strongest rating for solar storms.
mhm.
So if we survive through that pretty much untouched, I mean, we had a few outages here and there around the world, not only in the US. We had a few transformers catch on fire, but no systemic event, no systemic crises anywhere. Man, I think that is a huge success. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't continue to prepare. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't continue to try to protect our sensitive electronics devices with a Faraday cage or a Faraday cloth or anything like that. I think that we ought to do that and continue to do that just in case. But I think it was a great learning experience this weekend, what happened.
Yeah, I think the most that if it would have been a little bit stronger, it would compared to the one back in I think it was Quebec, Canada, about 35 years ago, which blew their power grid down.
Yes, I remember that. Well, I don't
Yeah,
remember that, but I remember talking about it several times.
I did hear, where was it? In South Dakota, there was a lot of humming in their power lines in that area. It was pretty interesting.
And you know what, Gray? I just thought about this today. I was talking to my wife about it here around lunchtime. I go in the house and spend a little bit of time with a wife before she has to go off and do the stuff she does. Anyways, this entire weekend, man, I've had this headache, and I still do, but it's kind of like weaning now. And I'm like, where's this headache coming from? Now, I don't know if this is a fact. I don't know how valid this is, what I'm going to say. But I did go and see some channels talking about how these solar flares or magnetic events from the sun can affect how people feel. And also talking about how people can have headaches and stuff. And I'm just wondering, I don't know if it is, but I'm wondering if that's what caused me to have a headache. Because I had a headache pretty much all weekend long. And I'm pretty used to headaches now with some other stuff that I have. I'm pretty used to them by now. So when I notice it, it means that it's a pretty good one. And now it's starting to wean off. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but it's interesting that it just happened to me during that time.
There is research on that as well as animals and stuff like that. The way the waves hit and stuff like. I've even heard that it messes with the what is it called? The when a bird flies, it uses certain
Yeah, I know what you mean, like radar,
kind of like
like
that,
the
like
animal's radar or sonar, stuff like
they'll
that.
say that they can crash into things and they just seem to act very odd in general. So if you ever see birds falling out of the sky, that might be a sign.
This is a great question that I would love to answer, Gray. What I'll see if you know the answer first, or if you have an answer, because there's not just one answer. What do you do that works best for mosquitoes? I see all the posts about plants that repel them, but what actually works? That's natural. Okay,
Ah,
yeah. So what do you think, Gray?
I mean, there's lots of we try to use plants as well. Uh, if you're looking about the natural route, but I mean, I know where you're going with this because I literally if
Well,
I
say
move
it.
to this
Go ahead, say it. Yeah. Oh,
where
where is it? Let
I'm
me see
trying
if
to
I can see it. I
it's
don't think
here
I see it back there behind you.
it's I got one of the lanterns here.
What is that? Oh, is that a thermocell? Yes, a
Yeah,
thermocell. Man, I'll
there
tell
we
you
go.
what, ladies and gentlemen, this thing works. That thermocell, and they have a whole bunch of different kinds.
Yeah,
So they have
absolutely.
one that fits you. They have a whole bunch of different types. They have a whole bunch of different price ranges. I think the cheapest price range that I've seen, if you catch them on sale, are like $21 on Amazon.
Hmm.
I have those on my storefront, and the cheapest one is like 21, $22, and you can go all the way up to like 60, $70. But I'll tell you what, the cheapest one works, in my opinion, just as good as the most expensive one. But the most expensive one is a lot more convenient than the cheaper ones. The cheaper ones, you have to add those little gas containers, those little butane containers,
Hmm.
where the more expensive ones actually are rechargeable via USB. And they also don't have the butane containers because they're electric and they use like a liquid instead of the pad. But those things work, man. Those things work so good that everyone, at least in Alaska, everyone ought to have a thermocell. But as far as natural, tell you the truth, I honestly don't know. And one of the reasons is that even when I'm not using the thermocell, mosquitoes don't really bother me very much. So the thermocell is more for my wife and my daughter. Mosquitoes love them. Mosquitoes don't bother me too much at all.
I'm with you there. For some reason, I have a pretty good. It must be maybe it's our Spanish blood, man. I don't know. But I know like lavender, catnip, lemon balm, citronella, marigolds, mints, rosemary, basil. There's a bunch of plants that supposedly repel like mosquitoes and those type of flies and stuff like that. I mean, there's the list goes on. That's just touching a couple of them. And there's other things that you can use too. Some people say talking about using coffee grounds. The smell of coffee keeps bugs away as well.
That's funny. Look, Minuteman was saying that my headaches was because of the ramen noodles. No, I only ate that one bite or two bites of ramen noodles that I had on the video. My dogs ate it right up. But I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't watched that video, you need to watch it. 13-year-old ramen noodle, still good. I mean, I know it's not good for you because people are always going to say, "Oh, that's GMO, that's garbage." No, it's not good for you. But do you agree with this, Gray, that when it comes down to it, in the worst of worst situations, calories are king, and calories will keep you alive. Whether it's good for you or not, they will keep you alive.
Every time I've ever done a video on food, someone always says something about it's too much salt, too much this, too much that, too much that. I said, if you are starving, if you are put in a position where you are starving, you will eat that up
Yep.
like it's the best slice of pie you've ever had in your life. I said, it doesn't matter what it
Yep.
is, you will consume it. And like you said,
Absolutely.
calories are calories, man. It's whatever you can do. I saw something, I think is, I forgot where I saw it. Someone had asked about thoughts on oil lanterns. And I don't know what your thoughts are. I did a whole video on oil lanterns a while back, but I like oil lanterns myself.
I do too. Yep, I do
It's
too. You
just,
know what? Talking about that people will eat anything, I just had a thought. I was watching a documentary once on World War II, and
mhm.
those encampments, the concentration camps. And I remember seeing some people that got led out of there, and they had found some like a bucket or something of old grease, right? Oh, like that grease that you cook with and you scrape it off and put it in a bucket or whatever, like in a restaurant or something. It was something like that. And they were dipping their hands in there and eating that. So those people that say, oh, ramen noodles are disgusting, just think about that, and even if you don't put that kind of stuff away for yourself intentionally, so you may not intend to put it away for yourself, but you may intend to put it away to give out as charity or to use for barter and stuff like that.
It's funny we're talking about this. I'm not going to say specifically, but I get a lot of emails and questions because a lot of people will have a go bag in their vehicle, and people have always asked me, great, you live in Florida, it's hot. What kind of food do you store in a bag that can withstand those heats? I'm actually thought about that, and I'm going to do a video on it this week, Rudy. I keep in my
go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's just what I keep in there because it's a fail safe. Because there's other things you can use, but this is a fail safe, no holds barred, gives you the calories you need to keep on trucking if things were to get that bad or you're dependent on that bag. But it can withstand a lot of heat and it can stand a lot of cold. So it pretty much encompasses a lot of the U.S. And the globe in regards to something that you could have for nutrition in your vehicle and kind of not forget about it, but because it has about 5 years or so, but something that works.
I reviewed those before. I won't give it away, but let me tell you what I know for a fact lasts, and that's I can't just say blanket statement freeze-dried foods. I can only say nutrient survival, which is freeze-dried foods. But I think that off of doing the experiment with the nutrient survival freeze-dried foods, that it pretty much applies to any freeze-dried food, because especially in a number 10 can or in a container that has an oxygen absorber in it, it has a negative pressure, meaning that if you open it, it will suck in air from the outside. If you open it, right, that's negative pressure. So for 2 years now, I've done a test where I left some nutrient survival number 10 cans under my tent all year long. And I've already opened 2 cans of different foods, and they were both just fine. And we're talking about temperature fluctuations between -45 in the winter all the way up to, although it doesn't get up to 100 degrees here in the summer, the hottest it's ever been here in the summer since I've been here was like 95 degrees, believe it or not, for like 1 or 2 days. It was almost the end of the world, according to mainstream media, with the global warming. But under that tent, it'll get easily 100 degrees Fahrenheit during the non-winter months. So that food has survived for so far 2 years, from -45 to 100 degrees above zero. And I've got another 8 years, 8 more cans that I'm going to be doing that experiment to see if at all it has any effect on it whatsoever. So I think that any freeze-dried foods, as long as they are still in their container, no problem, the container is not compromised, I think it'll last a really long time. And in any condition, even in hot weather. And also, I think that if you put up, like, let's say, really dry foods like rice, beans, flour, corn, stuff like that, that's really, really dry, and you put it away properly, even if it's in the weather, extreme weather fluctuations, it'll last also. But I mean, if you have the opportunity to store it properly, obviously.
I'm still impressed with the whole rice experiment. I don't know if it was a purposeful experiment or not. That still impressed me. I told my wife about it because she was worried about the rice that's in the pantry room, and I'm like, we're good. I said, Rudy had rice under his seat for like a year.
Yeah. It was like 3 years, brother.
3 years? Wow. It's just,
it was like 3 years that I was meaning to do the experiment after like 1 year. And maybe it was for more than 3 years, because that bag of rice, that 25-pound bag of rice, was from Sam's Club. And I got it before Sam's Club left town. And it's already been over 4 years since Sam's Club left town. So I'm thinking it was between 3 and 4 years. But I think I said like 3 years or something like that on the video. But yeah, there was absolutely nothing wrong with that rice. And all I did was leave it in its original bag, throw it under the seat of my truck, didn't touch it for the whole time. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. So someone asked me, Elle asked me, how's Lulu doing? And she is starting to lose her puppy teeth and getting her grown-up teeth, and she is just getting big. I think she's 5 months old in a couple of days, and she weighs about 45 pounds. So I think she's going to be about an 80, 90-pound dog because her paws are still really big in when you relate to her body size. So her body size, she's about 40, 45 pounds. Her paws are still way big for that body size. So I think she's got a lot more weight to gain.
Mario, I'm looking for what you're talking about, but I don't see it. Unless you're talking about your membership stuff. I don't see, you don't see any super chats on your side, do you?
Oh no, I did. Yeah, I think that's something. I must have missed it. Either I missed it or I'm far behind. Let's see. That's Mario.
Yeah, there we go. That's all I see too.
Don't fall for McDonald's $5 small fries and soda. Yeah, he might be talking about the video that I put today. That McDonald's is starting to think about going back to the $5 menu, where they sell like a 3-piece meal for $5 because people just aren't spending as much as they used to, being that their Big Macs are like $19 or $18 for a number one, where in 2008 a number one meal, Gray, was $5.
That was a steal.
Today it's ranging, depending what state you're in, obviously, is ranging between, I guess, around $15 and $19 or something like that. Crazy.
My wife and daughter hate it because they're like, hey, you know, I want to grab some McDonald's. I'm like, if it's been almost 10 years since I've ate that stuff. I just can't do it.
If I want to punish myself, I'll eat some McDonald's.
I'd rather eat Wendy's, to be honest with you. If I'm going to eat a burger like that, I'll go to Wendy's or Arby's or something like that. But I just can't do McDonald's. After all the things that I've heard and seen and read, I just can't.
It's just not. It's not real food, in my opinion. You got to say your opinion. In my opinion, it's not. In my opinion,
in my humble opinion,
it's just not real food.
I just can't do it, man. But I understand there's folks out there that are in a rush, and you know it's easy for the kids. You know, mechanically separated chicken that's grown, you know, in a lab. That's fine. If you want to do it, you want to do it.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense too. The 49 state. How you doing, brother? He says because they are about to go all automated. If they do go all automated, they'll be able to afford those $5 menus. They'll be able to do it. And especially in California, there's no doubt in my mind that in California, the big fast food franchises will be going as automated as they possibly can. 100%. It's because there's no way that people out there are going to be able to afford their food because of that minimum wage deal. Now they want a $25 minimum wage, Gray.
I saw that too, man.
It will never be enough. It'll never be. It doesn't matter. Whenever the government gets in the middle of free enterprise, it only ruins things. The government cannot tell a business how much the labor that they're getting from someone is worth. Only the business will know that, how much their labor is worth, because someone that does the French fries is probably not worth as much as someone that manages the darn, you know, shift. So, but anyways, yeah, they're going to have to pay. And now they want $25. Next week it'll be $35. Who knows?
I remember when I was in high school and I worked at McDonald's, and I mean, I think I was getting like $4.25 an hour back then, which I guess I'm old, but I don't know, $25 an hour. I just can't even imagine it. You know, speaking of the government, you read that article in the IRS that came out?
The article on the IRS. I know I talked about the IRS here. I think it was last Wednesday's news video, and it was something about that they are now going to start targeting the middle class because they need more money.
It goes, they've added some little regulations to their handbook. And if you dig, you can find this information. Of course, I don't have the link for it because we're on your channel, but it says the Internal Revenue Service is positioned to do much more than just collect your taxes. As it turns out, it turns its attention to individuals who threaten the U.S. government's ability to govern. A vague new criteria for criminal investigations according to its own operating manual. The shift involves the tax agencies in everything from maintaining the safety of the stock market to protecting critical infrastructure.
We're towards the end of an empire, man.
I agree, man.
I don't get excited about that stuff. We're towards the end of an empire, and I think in our lifetime we will see something that's completely different than what we're seeing right now. Let's hope that good prevails over evil. And we won't be on the other side, but yeah, it's inevitable. Nothing lasts forever, especially when it's manipulated in the manner in which this government has been manipulated for as long as it has. There's no way that it can continue going on.
I see. Someone said I only buy McDonald's mocha frappes.
Let's see.
Anyways, I do have some things that we can go over that I wrote down, or actually printed out because I'm lazy. Writing down's too much work.
Let's see. Jimmy, how you doing? Jimmy asks, Alaska
Pemmican.
Prepper, have you done a video on pemmican? No, I have not, and let me tell you why. Because I hate it. I hate pemmican. I made pemmican a long time ago. I didn't do it on video. I did it first to see if I like it. Only if I like it would I share it. Because why am I going to share something with you all when I think it's garbage? And let me tell you, why in the world would you put away pemmican when you can get some Mountain House or Nutrient Survival? Why would you do that? I would never do that. I would rather eat those greasy bars that are like a yellow block that come in the little packs that are in a retort package, that you leave in your car. I would rather eat one of those. And those aren't that great, but I would rather eat one of those than eat pemmican, to tell you the truth. Now, some people may like pemmican. And like I said, I followed the instructions the way it's supposed to be. I had the right ratio of beef fat or tallow to the powdered beef, and I even put a few blueberries in there, for the berries that you're supposed to put. I thought it was disgusting. So no, I've never done one on that.
Yeah, I've messed with it myself, man. Pemmican bars and stuff like that. And I did the blueberries. I even added other little odds and ends, because as soon as you add the fruit, it takes some of the longevity away from it. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, it's just all the work and energy that goes into it, and then the taste and whatnot. It's like, I can find other things that work for me a little bit better.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you like it, then by all means make it, because it's going to last a long time.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that's what they do, and that's what I didn't see this and I haven't experienced this, but it makes a lot of sense to me. And I got it from Billy from Frontier Preppers, who grew up in Cuba. He said in Cuba they'll cook a pig, all right, and then they'll render the fat. Then they'll take the pig, chop it up in manageable pieces. They'll put it in a bucket and take the fat and put it on the meat that's already been cooked, so that it can go over the top, and that will preserve the meat, he said, for a very long time. So, I believe that will stay good for a very long time, because it's pretty much fat. But to me, it just doesn't taste good.
Do you like to eat hardtack?
Again, I have flour put away. I have yeast. I have salt. And if you want, you can throw a little bit of sugar in there. You don't really have to. So why put away hardtack or make hardtack when, I'd rather preserve my teeth?
And that's what I was going to say. It's like, it's a teeth breaker. You're going to dip it in coffee or something.
Yeah, it's good to know how to make that kind of stuff. I mean, hardtack is very easy to make. Salt, water, and flour. That's it. It's easy to make that stuff, and it's nice to know how to make that stuff in case you ever have to resort to making that stuff. But I'm not going to eat it, just because I know how to make it and because it's proven itself to last a long time. I'd rather eat all the other stuff that I have first that's good for decades, before it goes bad.
I mean, honestly, I'd rather go through all my MREs, even though some of those aren't probably the best, but
the eggs one, my favorite was the egg MRE, the egg omelet.
I like the breakfast MREs, to be honest.
I love that egg omelet. Egg omelet MRE is the one that people hated the most.
Really?
But I figured out how to work it. It's because of the texture, man. The egg omelet MRE, that texture, it was almost like Jello. Disgusting. Right? But if you heat that thing up really nice and hot, and you throw in one of the jalapeno cheese in there,
or
the cheese with bacon in there, and mix it up, man, that thing was delicious. And it used to fill you up for the whole day. You didn't even have to eat again after that.
Did you eat your chiclets?
Well, those were necessary because those chiclets were supposed to allow you to go to the bathroom They had a little bit in there so you can go to the bathroom easier. So
they will stop you up, man. They will stop you up.
oh, the MREs, absolutely, man, they will. I remember my first MRE experience was when I was in the Navy. We went to 29 Palms, and it was 8 days, bro. 8 days.
Really?
I thought I was gonna die. It was a religious experience when I finally made it to the porta potty.
You felt that? Ooh, ah.
It was crazy.
Oh man, folks, everybody should run out there and eat a few MREs for a couple of days and see how you feel.
For anyone here that's new, first of all, thank you very much for joining in. And this is pretty much unscripted. So we're doing exactly what this show is intended for us to do. It's just to have a good time with you all on the chats so you can chat with each other, ask questions, share information with the community, and just chit chat back and forth about some things that maybe Gray will look up and or just things that come up. So that's what it's about, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I forgot. We used to do that all the time in the beginning when we first started doing the show. We would let everybody know that, basically we're just going to banter between one another and throw things here and there. But I always forget there's a lot of new folks that have been coming to your channel, coming to my channel, and then they cross-platform and they're like, what the heck are these guys doing?
Well, look at this. In Mississippi, $11 for a #1 hot dog, man. You guys got it made down. Yeah, but the thing is too, the hey, Ultra Mega Patriot in Mississippi, I do believe that the mean or average income is a lot lower in Mississippi than the rest of the country. So it would make some sense that it's not as high over there. As far as how much you're paying for that Big Mac meal, as far as labor, I bet you it's probably about the same as everywhere else when you think about it. Because if, for example, in Mississippi, the mean wage, let's say I don't know how much it is. Let's say it's $50,000, right? Which is pretty good. And then let's say that in California, the mean wage is $100,000, right? So it's kind of different, which is probably less in California than that, but you know what I mean? I think that if people started looking at how much things cost as far as how much they have to labor for it and the amount of hours, I think that things would be different if people actually saw how much things cost as far as their time.
I was thinking, sometimes a video will pop up in my feed and someone was talking about, how they store coffee and stuff like that. And they're like, they like to get the unroasted beans, the green coffee beans and stuff like that. And I thought to myself, like, that makes sense. I get where they were going with it, but I was like, you know what? I'd rather just get instant coffee and store that because that lasts forever and it's easy. You know what I mean?
Yep. And you know what? I did a little experiment with instant coffee too here, and I showed it. I forget what video, but I showed it. But what I did was the same year that I built the bunker here, I went and got some Taster's Choice freeze-dried coffee at Costco. And I took 2 containers, brand new containers, and I put them on the windowsill of the bunker. I'm looking at it right now, the windowsill. And it stayed there for about 2.5 years. And the sun shining on it and everything. And I even showed when I did that video that the paper was peeling off. It was all faded from the sun. Great. There was absolutely nothing wrong with it after 2 years of being beamed on by the sun and of the temperature ranges up and down. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Freeze-dried coffee, I think, will pretty much outlast you. And as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter which kind you get. It's going to outlast you.
Yeah, well, me and the Cafe Bustelo, man. The wife loves it too.
We got
so
plenty of that stuff.
Yeah, we just keep it. Especially if I see it on sale, man.
Yeah, yeah. You know that Taster's Choice? If you're looking for something that maybe you want to barter in the future, if you have to, but something that you can actually drink, like I can drink Taster's Choice with if I put cream in it. By itself, man, it's kind of hard to bring down on its own, right? Black. But if you put a little bit of cream in there, it's not really bad. So I think if you can find something that's cheap and something that you can drink without having to plug your nose, and something that you can put back in quantity that you can also barter, I think that's a great choice, Taster's Choice. But I mean, if you want quality, of course, for yourself, get those things that you really like yourself, like Cafe Bustelo. I've got about a 2-year supply, I think, of Nutrient Survival. So I love that stuff. you know. So get what you want, but if you want to get something on the cheap that you know has the caffeine, and you know that you will actually use if it came down to it, and or you can barter, I think that's a good idea to do that as well.
Agreed. You know, I was gonna remember. I was talking to you, Rudy, behind the scenes on it. Remember the video I did for the Keystone Meat thing?
Yes.
So I finally get. You know, I'm gonna. I don't know if I was thinking about doing the video because they did send me something, and it was very very cool that what they sent. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah,
like,
you ought to show everyone. That'd
yeah,
be
I
awesome.
should. I should do like a what would you call that? Like a
I
part
don't know. I
benefit.
think you ought to show it right now.
I mean, I can go grab all the stuff at the
Yeah, I
box.
think you ought to. Is it what? Oh, you got to get a card or something to.
No, it's not that big. It's you know, though they did mention they were like, hey, we after saying thank you and writing the email for putting out that video, which was awesome from a company,
Yeah.
a small, you know, like a company that reaching out to little old me on YouTube. They did send me some information saying we would like to work with you in the future. And I don't know what that meant.
That's awesome,
But
man.
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna see Gray Man wearing a Keystone Meats shirt. You know, talking. Oh, that would be cool, man. You'll be there. You'll be there. What do you call it? Not their mascot, their representative.
Spokesperson.
There you go. The
I
spokesperson of Keystone Meats.
I got one thing. Remove me from the thing. I'll be right back.
All right. I got you. Oh, wouldn't that be awesome, ladies and gentlemen? That's one of the blessings about, or one of the great things about YouTube is that a lot of people, I can't say all, a lot of people get into it just as something to do, a little hobby, something to have fun with. And it ends up turning into something that's a lot of fun where you make some money and you actually meet a lot of great people. You know, like if it wasn't for YouTube, I would have never, ever met Gray, ever. If it wasn't for YouTube. If it wasn't for YouTube, I'd have never met Mr. Tom. And although Mr. Tom and I, we've never met in person, we talk on the phone every once in a while. You know, I consider us to be friends. So, you know, there's a lot of good that comes from doing this. And then, of course, you have to put up with those things that maybe be a little bit of a pain in the butt at times. Let's see. Oh, Roscoe, that is hilarious. Hey, listen, I honestly think that pemmican is just, it's not for me. That's all it is. But for those that aren't watching but are listening, Roscoe says, if a guy who likes spam, which I don't like spam, I love spam, all right, says pemmican is disgusting, I'll take a hard pass. Well, that is true. Oh, goodness. And someone said about making skillet bread, and they had a small recipe there. I missed it. But yes, making skillet bread is so easy, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe one of these days I'll show you. All you need is some flour, a little bit of, whatchamacallit, a little bit of yeast, okay? Flour, yeast, salt. If you want to put a little bit of sugar in there, you can. All right. And water. You don't even need milk, just water. You take that, all those ingredients, you throw them in a Ziploc bag, you squish it all up, you mix everything together, and then you take that bag and you leave it out overnight. And then when you wake up in the morning, that bag is going to be puffed up. You let the air out, squish everything together, mix it up again. There you go. You can take out a chunk at a time and throw it in a skillet, flatten it out, and that makes bread. And it's actually really, really good. Okay, so that's something you can definitely do. And like if I do a 2-cupper, if I put 2 cups of flour in the Ziploc bag and then put all my other ingredients in there, that's usually good for about 6 to 8 little pieces of bread, about this big, right? About the size of a big pancake. And like I said, it's usually pretty good. Let's see. Oh, hot dog. Gray Man is back. I didn't even know because I was talking so much. All right, Gray, so there you are. What do you got there?
So this part of the video is brought to you by Keystone Meats. If you're looking for Keystone Meats and you want a quality product from a small business company, stop at Keystone. I love the hat, man. The hat feels nice. I don't. Let me switch hats.
Hey, man, take that hat off and put it up close to the camera. Let's take a look at that.
Let pick up. There we go.
Man, I'll tell you what. That is awesome, Gray. I like it.
I opened it up as a handwritten letter. I mean, I was just like, man, that is so awesome that I just did a video because I love the company and to clarify
Yeah,
some
man, good
things,
for you.
and it was just like, that's so cool.
Hey, man, when good people do good things, what happens? Good things
Agreed.
happen. There you go.
So cool, man. Woo, what do we got left in here? I got
Hey,
some
check
other.
this out. The postman asks, AP and Gray Man, when are you going to do a call-in show? It's not going to work on my side. All right. And I think Gray Man is probably too busy to be messing with that. On my side, I don't have the technological expertise to do that kind of stuff. You know,
I have pondered it before, and I've looked into the gear, and I only need one other piece. It's at like maybe $150, within a couple $100. And I could actually do it. $18.
that's kind of
Wow.
funny.
At
$18 in North Cal. I refuse to eat it at $2. Oh, that's funny.
Oh man. You know, I had no idea that Keystone even they had local butchers in the area over there in Ohio and whatnot. I was like, man, that's really cool, man. I would love to visit their factory. That would be awesome.
Oh man, that maybe they'll bring you down there.
That would be
That
cool.
would be
You never
pretty
know.
awesome, man. That would be really awesome.
I'm like, I need a pallet of that stuff over there, man.
Hey man, you never know. You never know, man. You should work with them, and who knows? Maybe you can work for them and do a little barter. You know, you already like their product, right? So there's nothing wrong with you endorsing their product and promoting their product. You already like it, and people know that. And if they're willing to compensate you for that in pallets of Keystone,
I'm game. I don't need cash. I
that
just
would
need
be
the
so
food.
awesome.
Oh man, that is great. That is awesome, man. Oh,
So,
you know,
hey, did you bring anything with you today that's important for us to talk about?
well, I was gonna give you a heads up as well as everybody else if there's any other content creators on here or stuff like that.
Look at that, Gray.
Are you an AI, Rudy? That's awesome.
Oh,
Nobody
man,
can say
so
ladies and gentlemen
hilarious.
as much as Rudy. It says I found a little clip from the FBI, which everybody loves. It says the FBI confirms it's restarting online censorship efforts ahead of the 2024 election. The FBI has resumed collusive efforts with social media companies to censor posts it claims are disinformation.
Yeah, but people already know. The people already know.
All I know is I'm just thinking for people on YouTube, if they disappear, get hit, you know what's going on. They didn't make someone happy.
You don't talk. Did you just say the E word on this channel?
What did I say?
ELEC.
ELEC.
TION. Did you just say the E word?
We can't even say that word.
Yeah, you can't be saying it's the contest.
All right? Contest. Okay. Oh man, you gotta love that.
If you watch my videos, I've been saying the contest. All right. And if you want to say illegal, illegal people in this channel, you have to say people that came from the southern border unlawfully. That's how you have to say it.
Okay.
Not illegal immigrants, but people that came in through the southern border unlawfully. That's how you get around the algorithm.
Oh boy. Did you hear about that hospital that got hit by a cyber attack?
No.
I got that here. It says
tell me about it.
It's Ascension. One of the largest health systems in the United States said Thursday that it was struck by a cyber attack that knocked out patient record systems offline and forced medical staff to log care on paper. The latest hack to underscore the vulnerability of America's healthcare system to cyber intrusions. It also affected electronic patient charts. The core of the system of the flow of the care among systems affected, or were some of the systems that are affected. And this affected 140 hospitals in 19 states. They even had to divert ambulances to other hospitals.
Amazing. It's only going to get worse from here on. It really is.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Let's see. John Uptell. How you doing, John? Does anyone know if you can buy yeast for long term? I know the freezer, but I'm talking farther out. So I'm always doing a little experiment, right? It's always happening, especially when it's something that you're measuring time, right? That you're measuring for time. I have a couple of those little containers of yeast, the ones that you can buy at Costco. I have a couple that are years and years old. I think one of them is at least 5 years old that I've kept in my pantry and not in my freezer. I have one that I kept in my freezer for about 3 years. but I opened up one that was out of the freezer that was kept in my pantry at about 3 years old. Nothing wrong with it. It worked just fine. So that's why I left the other one. I'm going to see if I can wait a couple more years or so to see if it's still good. And then I'll probably go through the trouble of going ahead and repackaging it, whatever I don't use, with a vacuum sealer and stuff, and then let it wait a few more years. But I know that yeast is supposed to go bad after a certain time, but I stand by that. If you pack something or store it the proper way, meaning temperature fluctuations and a container that hasn't been compromised, that it will last a lot longer than what is said to last. And I had no problems with that yeast whatsoever. I'm still going through that one pack that I opened. It was about a year ago or so, or 2 years ago or so, that I opened it. And and today it's about 5 years old. And what I have left of what I opened in that pack, I do keep in the fridge. So once I opened it about 2 years ago, I put the remainder in a container and I've kept it in the fridge, but it's still good. Right. So when that other one gets old enough, I'll open it up. We'll see if it works, and then we'll keep the experiment going. And the one that's in the freezer, I'm pretty sure, or yeah, it's in the freezer. I'm pretty sure that thing will last over a decade. But that's the best that I can tell you, like 4 or 5 years, because that's all I've done.
It's funny you're talking about yeast because remember the conversation that we had after the live stream ended last Monday about the pancake mix and whatnot.
Yeah.
And, I guarantee you some people who store it either improperly or, they go to use it and it doesn't give them the right consistency or it doesn't rise properly. They probably throw that mix out, not knowing that they can fix that issue like we had discussed.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So like pancake mix, for example, if that does happen to you because of the leavening will gas off. Mm-hmm. Now you do your own research, ladies and gentlemen. But what I've found is through research and through actual doing it myself is that when leavening gas is off, it's not toxic. And that all you have to do is go ahead and open that container, go ahead and let the excess gas out of it and repackage it. And it'll be good to use when you need to use it, with the exception that, let's say, for example, if it is pancakes, they're going to come out flat. They're not going to come out nice and fluffy. But there's a couple of things that you can do if you want to add that fluffiness back to them. Go ahead and mix some eggs in with the batter when you make it. That'll give us some fluff. That's one thing. Mm-hmm. You can go ahead and mix it instead of with water, mix it with soda water, right? Mm-hmm. And the carbon in the soda water will give it some fluffiness as well. Or you can add your own leavening to it. You can add some more baking powder to it, and then that'll give it the fluffiness as well. So you can actually still use that. Nothing wrong with it. Right? And you don't have to throw it away, and it's still doing what it's supposed to do. All you're doing is just replacing the leavening with leavening or 2 other things that you can make it fluffier with.
Yeah, it's
hey, great. Check this out real quick. So let's go ahead and say hello to Vera and Eva. Hello, ladies. I hope that you're doing well. And it sounds to me like you two are on the younger side and watching this show with your mom or your parents. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, we like to keep this show family friendly. So thank you very much, Vera and Eva, for hanging out with us today.
Yeah, thanks so much, Vera and Eva. We really appreciate your support as well. I like to see the younger generation, watching content like this. Absolutely. And learning and picking up some of this stuff because it's out there this day and age, man. It's hard to get some of those younger folks on the same path as that we are in regards to some of our thought process and regarding just being prepared for certain situations that happen to arise.
Yep. Awesome. I love it when I see that younger children are watching. I think that's great.
Imagine this, Rudy. Wouldn't this be something? Imagine you had an elective in school, let's say even middle school or high school, wherever you can learn about emergency preparedness. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, I think that'd be great. But the thing is that the schools are now colluding or have been colluding with the federal government for years.
Absolutely, unfortunately.
But I mean, that's a whole different show, right? But I mean,
yeah, that is a whole different show,
right? I mean, one of the ways that a country can be taken over from being a free nation to a communist nation is one of the things you have to do is take over the schools. Mm-hmm. You have to take the children. I mean, we can go down this rabbit hole, Gray, all the way back to like the early 60s, right?
Mhm.
What did they do? The government started subsidizing parents that were single parents, mainly women. They started saying, hey, if your man leaves, don't worry about it because we got you. Uncle Sam
Yeah.
has got you. So what happened? The men that were tired in the relationship said, hey, Uncle Sam's got you, see you. And the women that were tired in the relationship said, hey, get out of here. Uncle Sam's got me. So what did they do? They split up the family, right? They split up the family. And now most families through that program, the war on poverty, most families now, because of the war on poverty and because of inflation, they have to give their children over to the schools. Why? Because they can't afford daycare. They don't have anyone to watch their kids. So now, not only is the mom and the dad both having to work to make ends meet, if they're lucky enough to still be a mom and dad in the family, but now they have to take their kids and send them to a public school where they get indoctrinated by the government that made the regulations and made it to where the mom and dad had to both work. I mean, like I said, it's a really deep rabbit hole. And when you take a look at it, in my opinion, the state of our nation today is because of what has been planned for the last several decades. It's been planned. The reason we're in $35 trillion worth of debt, the reason we have more than $200 trillion worth of unfunded liabilities is because it's been a plan all along. The United States was not meant to be free forever, but freedom is very contagious, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to take a lot in order for our freedoms to be stripped as a nation, as a people. It's going to take a lot more than what they've got. And in the end, Gray, I think we will still remain free. It's just going to take a lot of pain for us to get there.
Pain and suffering. Two comments I wanted to say. Shells and yolks. Thank you for that. And I saw the Parallel Sound said my middle school and high school had prepping electives. Many schools
That's
do.
awesome.
People just don't take them. Yeah, that's really cool. I'd never seen that. I've metal shop and wood shop and mechanic shop and stuff like that. Gray, go check the brisket you're smoking. If people really want to go down a rabbit hole, they could. I mean, I know you've talked about it. I've talked about it, but Yuri Bezmenov, I think that's how you pronounce it, the defector from Russia.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, I did a video on that guy a while ago. Everything he said has come and passed.
Absolutely,
But
man.
people still say, oh, you're just a conspiracy theorist, Gray. Stop
I know.
fear-mongering, Gray. All right? Gray, stop telling people that the mainstream media is going to start fear-mongering again because of this bird flu and because of climate lockdowns. They're going to start fear-mongering so that they can intervene in the contest that's going to happen in November. Stop fear-mongering, Gray, you conspiracy theorist. That's not going to happen. Oh, so okay, I guess it's not going to happen. Has anyone ever tried the humanitarian meals they sell on Amazon? Asks JT. I have not tried. Well, yes, I have. Back when I was in the military, they still had those. I think they're called like halal meals. The ones that you're supposed to be able to eat, like if you're a Muslim or something like that. I think that's one, and they're not bad. It's just that they're like vegetarian. That's the only thing that I don't like about it, is that they're like vegetarian, and they're very bland as far as I'm concerned. I'd rather just eat. If I'm going to eat a vegetarian long-term food, I'd rather just eat Nutrient Survival, and if I want meats, a great supplement for Nutrient Survival, since they are vegetarian, is Mountain House Meats. And every once in a while, you'll find Mountain House Meats on sale for like 50% off.
I think she's talking. I don't know. I could share my screen, I guess. Let me see.
Go ahead. Let me say thank you very much to Busted Beak while you're looking for that, Gray. Hello, my two military brothers. Love watching you guys. Thank you for your info. Love watching you guys. Thank you for your info. Thank you very much, Busted Beak.
Truly appreciate it,
man. Thank you so much.
There it is down there, brother. It looks like a civilian-based MRE. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, is that $34 for a box?
Get 1 point. Let me see what it says on the side of the box. 10 meals.
Man, that's not bad at all. That's a great price if you like the stuff that comes inside of it. I don't know what comes inside of it. You know,
Trying to see if we can zoom up on this thing here.
yeah. What do we
Cracker,
got? It's got 2 crackers,
shortbread.
beans and rice with tomato sauce, lentil stew, a fig bar, and then it looks like it's got some cheese, probably strawberry
Yeah,
jam, peanut butter. Man, you know what? That's a lot of calories for $3.49.
yeah,
That's actually,
yep.
in my opinion, that's a great deal for that.
Yeah. I
Wow.
don't. I was looking to see if on Amazon, but this is what popped up first, so I don't know. But very interesting. But that's how they look there. The colors of them. A food gift from the people of the United States of America. 1 day's complete food requirements for one person, and then it goes into Spanish. The Warnick Company out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Very interesting. All right, that's that.
Nice.
I might order some and compare them to my MREs. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, man, I honestly think that's a great price.
Yeah.
For everything that one of those MREs bring. I mean, that looked like probably about 1,500, 2,000 calories.
I'm looking on here. Let me see.
That's awesome.
It might be cheaper. It's on. Let me see. MRE case 5 US FEMA emergencies. Entree side, so 10-pack inspection. There's only it's $31.50 on Amazon.
Really?
$31.50 is at 11% off right now on Amazon.
That's a great deal.
Yeah, I'm gonna. It says inspection date 1/2024 or better.
Look at what Tina Mac says. Not a great deal if it tastes like hot. $3-4 will buy a lot of ramen. But you know what, Gray? That's a good point. But I can tell you this: the crackers, those are the best darn crackers in the world. Do you agree?
Yeah, no, they're absolutely pretty good.
Especially if they were the vegetable crackers. I love the vegetable crackers.
Them and with the jalapeno cheese, they were great, man.
So you got crackers in there that you know are going to be good. You've got the strawberry jam in there. I think it's got peanut butter. So those are a few things that you know you're going to eat. And then it looked like it had a dessert in there. And I've never had a dessert off of an MRE that wasn't pretty good. You got the fig bars in there.
They had fig bars, and they also had what do they call Pop-Tarts? Strawberry Pop-Tarts.
I mean, that in itself, I know that's not good food, right? I just mentioned it's pretty much all carbs, except for the peanut butter, which has some fat and, you know, whatever protein it's got. But still, that's a lot of calories you're getting for $3 or $3.49, depending on what you pay for it. It's not bad as far as the price goes. You know what? Let me know, man, because I might order one.
I'm going to order one too, just because of that price.
Yeah, I just want to try one out. You know,
it has a 4.1 rating out of 5.
That's not terrible.
Yeah. And out of 1,722 reviews, and 2,000 of these boxes have been bought in the past month. 2,000.
Wow.
So people are stocking up, man.
Uh-oh. Let's see. Ultra Mega Patriot, Rudy and Gray, have you tried any of the Backpackers pantry meals? I have in the past. Not my very favorite, but they're not bad. I think the one that I had was one that you had to cook like Southwest eggs or something like that. It was like a Mexican style eggs, and it was all right, but it just wasn't that great. Well, let's see.
I did a video on it, and their desserts are great. They have a creme brulee.
Oh, really?
A chocolate mousse. I got them because my daughter, of course, you know, kids love desserts. You know what I mean? You want a comfort food. You don't want to just survive. You want to thrive, as they say.
That's
right. And having some of those comfort foods like the desserts, and it just blew me away with the creme brulee after you mix it up and you put the little sugar thing on there. I mean, it's a comfort food. It's not like the healthiest thing for the dessert aspect.
No, I mean, it's a dessert. Right.
Yeah.
You don't have to explain, Gray. Comfort foods are very necessary. They're not supposed to be healthy. They're supposed to be stuff that's like candy, that's, you know, that maybe it's not the best, but you need that kind of stuff, especially kids during stressful situations. You know, it's all about normalcy. It's about keeping normalcy within your household, within your community, you know, but go ahead, man.
No, I was reading the things. If those humanitarian meals are horrible, please don't hate me. No, we won't hate you, Jay. We are here. Me and Rudy,
funny.
yeah, we're here to do the testing. We're here to do the testing for you guys. Like, hey, this is a great option, or yeah, don't buy it. You know what I mean?
Well, look at here. AK Will 932 ask, have you tried the cold weather MREs? In my opinion, the cold weather MREs are the best MREs ever.
I agree.
The very best. If you can find them at a really good deal, get them because you won't be disappointed. Every cold weather MRE, at least every one that I've ever opened, and I've opened a bunch, comes with a double serving of Mountain House for the entree. It's a double serving pouch, which is not like the ones that you buy at the store. The singles is not like that. It comes like in a retort vacuum seal pouch that's like the brown ones. You know what I'm talking about, Gray? Like the light brown ones.
Yeah, I'm trying to, as you're talking, I'm looking.
Look for it on Amazon because one of those little pouches is like $12 on Amazon. Just a little pouch of Mountain House on its own. You see that? You can put it up here if you want, and I'll show people. But they're the best. They come with a Mountain House, and they don't come with anything in it that already has any liquids in it because it's a cold weather MRE.
They are up to $23 per.
Yeah, per. And check this out, Gray. I mean, for those of you here that are OGs, right, that saw me do my cold weather MRE a long time ago, I had over 300 cold weather MREs, okay, that I started getting off of Craigslist. And what happens is this. Here in Fort Wainwright, you know, the MREs that they have in the winter are cold weather MREs, obviously, because here it gets very cold. So what a lot of soldiers do is they don't eat their MREs when they go to the field. But since the command takes away their basic allowance for sustenance, they keep their MREs anyways. So they may bring food out there with them, but they still take their MREs and bring them home and they sell them. Well, I started buying MREs left and right. And I averaged about $10. No, sorry. I was going to say $10. I averaged about 22 or $25 per box. So I paid on average about $2 per MRE. And every one of those MREs has one of those meals in them. And now the meals are up to $20. They used to be like $12 when I was buying those MREs. And I'll tell you what, as far as desserts go, have you ever tried the Mountain House blueberry granola or granola blueberry? Man, that is so good. It's really addictive. If you've never tried the Mountain House granola blueberry or blueberry with granola, it is definitely addictive. It's like a dessert. It's what it is.
That's the zoom up I have of their.
Okay, here we go. There it is, right there. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And the coffee is actually really good, Gray. If you've never had that coffee, it's very, very good coffee.
It's coffee. It's got some peanut M&Ms. There's the chiclets, little hot sauce, Irish cream, cappuccino instant powder.
And the hot sauces that they come with now come in a little like a ketchup envelope. That's what they come in now. They don't come in the little bottles anymore.
And there's the Mountain House right there.
Yeah. And those Mountain House, man, they'll last pretty much forever. So if you got those, hold on to them.
All right, we can drop that. Let's see, where's my mouse at? There we go.
All right, we're good.
There, you got it. But that price point, man, I rather get the humanitarian aid things.
Yeah, how much was that for one MRE?
So it was 22 or 23 bucks. So you can get a case of 12, a 12 pack for $150.
That's actually really good. I mean, considering the Mountain House meal, you're paying what, $10 or $15 for a 12 pack. That Mountain House meal alone is, you know, if not considering that it was like 20 something dollars on Amazon, right, for that thing. But that Mountain House meal alone, if you went out to the store and bought 2 singles of whatever that is, that's $12 right there. So yeah, that's a pretty good price actually, to tell you the truth.
Let me see if we do 150 divided by 12. So yeah, it brings it down to $12.50 a meal, or $12.50 a pack.
I think that's a really good price, to tell you the truth. If you find it for that price, I would buy it if you're, you know, looking for that kind of stuff, because like I said, your average Mountain House meal out there is about $6, $7.
No.
So and that Mountain House meal that it comes with is a double serving. So it's like buying 2 of the regular ones. Oh, you're showing it up again?
Did I? Oh, I didn't. I never stopped sharing it. My bad. I was just looking at the price because I was doing that number there to see what else you got in the box and how it looked.
Okay, I'm
Date
gonna
on
take
the
that off
box.
there real quick.
But
All right.
very interesting. 10-pack. Yeah.
Look at that. See, you can tell who my OGs are. JT's like, hey, AP, do you still have those totes filled with MRE packs that you took apart? Yep. Those are the ones I was talking about. I had like how many boxes? I think I had like 30 boxes of cold weather MRE, 25 or 30. And then what I did is I took them all apart and I put all of the entrees in a big tote. Actually, it took 2 totes. Then I put all of the desserts in a tote. I put all of the drinks and peripherals like your spoons and your little accessory packets in another tote. So yeah.
Someone said if you buy 4 or 5 cases, you have the prices will drop. Interesting.
Oh, cool. Let's see, Dustin. How you doing, Dustin? Are the hydrogen heaters still strong, or do they have? Well, you see, they don't have any heaters with the cold MREs, cold weather MREs. They don't have a heater. So if you are in cold weather or in any weather and you want to rehydrate that Mountain House, you're going to need to get hot water. You're going to need to have a way to heat water, right?
Yeah, that's good information to have because you don't want to buy them and then run into that situation and be like, oh, whoops.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, if you have dehydrated or freeze-dried foods, you can rehydrate it with cold water or lukewarm water that you have under your armpit for a while. And it's not going to be as palatable, but you're still going to get the same nutrition out of it. And you can technically eat it while it's freeze-dried, chew it up and swallow it, and then just follow it up with water. Yeah. So you can still do it, but why do that when you can just have heated water, put it in there, and it'd be a nice meal for you instead, right?
I mean, if you're out with an MRE, most people have a campfire or something going on, so you figure they would have access to drinkable water.
Hey, you know what, Gray? Next time that you have a number 10 can or a small pouch of home-style scramble opened up, try some of it dry. It's really good.
That's a good idea.
It's really good, man. I've done it before. It's really, really good.
I eat the vitamin eggs every morning. That's just part of my routine. I
love the vitamin eggs, man.
I should probably take stock into the company at this point.
Well, I don't eat that many anymore because I got my own eggs now. I got my own egg factory up here now.
It's just easy because I throw it in the blender, I put it in the pot, and put some spices in there, and I just roll and I take it with me to work. It's convenient, put it that way.
Let's see. Redneck Prepper, how you doing, brother? Are the extreme winter MRE different? I have no idea what extreme winter MREs are. I've never heard of extreme winter MREs.
Yeah, that doesn't sound familiar. I'm going to see if I can find it while you're sitting there.
Yeah, take a look, man.
See, MREs, cold weather.
Let me see. Yep, that's me. How you doing? When you rehydrate your food from your freeze dryer, how long does it take to fully dehydrate? Well, it depends, really. It depends on the size of the pieces. It depends on what it is. But usually anywhere between 7 to 10 minutes of rehydration time with hot water, because it makes a difference if the water is hot or cold. But I would say between 7 to 10 minutes of rehydration time is usually enough to get everything reconstituted and palatable.
Yeah, I can't find anything. There's some YouTube channels that have renamed, like Arctic Combat Breakfast MRE, but it's still a cold weather. It's still a MCW, no matter how you look at it. And I'm trying to look and see anywhere else, but I can't find anywhere that it says extreme in the title.
Let's see. South Florida DCL, how you doing, man? Have you tried Southwestern Scrambles? I think that's the one I was talking about, the backpacker meal, Southwestern Scramble. I think that's the one I was talking about that I've tried. And like I said, it's good. It's just, it's not like anything to write home about, in my opinion. But it's good. But the thing is, this is that what I find okay, or what I find that maybe I don't like, someone else may really like it. So it really is up to you to decide what it is that you want to put away for long term. I sit here all the time and I'm always like, nutrient survival is the very best, is because in my opinion it really is. But there's some people that actually taste the vitamins and nutrients in it, and to them it's not palatable. So if you're one of those people, you're going to be like, oh, AP, you're out of your mind. I hate that stuff. Well, it really depends on what it is that is good for you. That's what you have to put away.
I'm trying to find it. Where
low blood pressure is in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, before low blood pressure tells you to max out your credit cards to buy silver, let me tell you that that's not coming from me. That's from low blood pressure. So do your research.
Where is it at? Oh, here it is. I'm gonna put this link in the chat if anybody's curious. I'm just trying to find it first before I. If you want to see a review of the Backpackers Pantry Freeze, I did this a while ago, and I'll throw it down in the chat, and you're more than welcome to check it out. If not, don't worry about it. Dun, dun, dun.
Hey, DCL, I love the Tabasco sauce, man. You know, those big ones. And thank goodness that I was able to find some. Costco had Tabasco sauce, those the big 12-ounce size. I bought a few of them. And if you find them at Costco, buy them at Costco, because they're a lot more expensive on Amazon or at the regular supermarket. I bought a couple of the big ones, and I'm already about halfway done on one. I'll probably go through about between 2 to 3 of those big 12-ounce bottles every year. I love my Tabasco sauce, especially on my eggs. On anything that's breakfast, that's savory, I love Tabasco sauce on that stuff.
I'm trying to see which one I ate. I can't remember which one I got.
What you got? Oh, I thought you were putting it up.
Three Sisters Southwestern Kiona and beans with the creme brulee is what I made in that video. There we go. Sorry, I got lost in that. I was just trying to find it because I know I did a review on it a while back, and it was just random because someone had recommended it to me after I did a Mountain House video or whatnot.
Let's see. Dustin says, make a nutrient survival smoothie every other day, and you'll notice the difference. Absolutely, you will, with the vitamins. And I'm not the kind of person that likes to drink my food. I like to eat. I mean, look at me, ladies and gentlemen. I like to eat. All right. Food is good. But the nutrient survival smoothies, my favorite is the vanilla, because I like to add like stuff to it, because you can pretty much make it any flavor you want. I like to add a banana and peanut butter to it. I call it the Elvis Presley. But the chocolate is good. I would recommend that you use milk instead of water. It makes it silkier. I think gives it a heartier taste. But yeah, I mean, anything that you eat from nutrient survival, you're going to notice the difference in 2 or 3 days because of all those vitamins. But again, I rather eat my food than to drink it. But that is good stuff.
Hey, I just saw something in chat. Jeff Gregory, are you talking about Iridium 242?
Are you serious?
Because he hasn't done a video in a month. And he used to do lots of videos all the time. That's George.
Yeah. Man, well, I mean, as soon as we get out of here, I got to go check that out. Oh,
I have his phone number. That concerns me. George
I really hope that that's a mistake.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy, man. He's a very nice guy. Very nice guy.
He's a really good guy, man. I've been subscribed to Iridium for so long.
Agreed.
Oh my goodness. Oh man. Law of the minimum. How are the baby chickens? They're doing good. They're getting big. So for those of you that don't know, 2 of my chickens provided us with a couple of chicks. Or I don't know if it was 1 or 2 chickens, but I got a couple of chicks out of them. And I had to bring them in the house because some of the other chickens were kind of jealous and they were trying to hurt them. So I brought them in the house. They're in the house right now. They've upgraded to one of the big totes. And probably here in the next couple of days, I'm going to go ahead and bring them outside with a heater. And I'll give them their own little space. And I'll probably do a video on that because my wife and I just finished putting up an addition to our chicken run. And I think it serves as a second purpose. It has a second purpose, which I still have to test to see if it works. So if it does, I'll make sure that I put it up to show you all. But yeah, they're getting big. They're pretty healthy. They're little dinosaurs. They're little pigs. Chickens are the biggest pigs that I've ever seen. They're worse than actual pigs. You know, I'm like, man, these animals are so nasty and they're so mean to each other. But I guess that's what chickens are, you know. But I'll tell you what, man, those are some nasty little animals. But they poop out really, really good eggs. So I'm not going to complain too much.
Wow.
So like 3 weeks ago here? Is that what you're looking up, Gray?
People in his chat are all wishing him that he passed. I'm just trying to find any more information that I can without actually calling his wife or something like that.
Oh my goodness, man.
That is
well,
rough.
I mean, if you find anything out, give me a call and let me know.
I will, man.
That's terrible.
I'm trying to go through all of his other social media. I just can't find everything is ended last month.
And you know how social media is, man. You just never know. I mean, if you have his phone number, and man, if I did, I give him a call.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna
just to know for sure, because you know how social media is, man. Sometimes something happens and it runs away with it.
Yeah, he's in Vegas. Out there in Nevada, so he's a couple hours behind. Yeah, that's crazy. I've been following George.
I laughed at something that I saw, not at Iridium, obviously.
Oh no, you're fine. It's just so crazy because I just realized that I haven't got notifications from him in a while, and like you, I've been following him for a long time. Talked to him
really
on the
long
phone.
time.
Yeah, really nice guy. That's crazy if that happened, man.
Well, here we got a Fat Man Prepper. Fat Man Prepper, I hope not. I hope not, because Big Red is on his way out, unfortunately. Big Red, I believe, right? I believe that Big Red took the life or was responsible for one of my chickens losing their life. It was Big Red's fault because he is abusing the chickens. And I didn't get a rooster so that they can abuse the chickens. I got a rooster because I wanted them to protect the chickens. So unfortunately, Big Red here pretty soon, I'm going to go ahead and I was going to put him in the pot, but I found someone that needs a rooster, and I'm going to go ahead and gift him Big Red. That way Big Red can go on living. Man, he is a beautiful rooster. To me, he looks like a dinosaur. He is huge. Such a big rooster, so pretty. But he is abusing the chickens, and Poppy doesn't. Poppy does not abuse the chickens, and he protects them. And one of the reasons that I know that Poppy protects the chickens is whenever I feed them, Poppy will let the chickens go and eat first. And then he'll go in there and eat. The only time that I've seen Poppy get upset with the other chickens is when they crowd the food and they're like kicking each other out of the way. Then he'll get in there and kind of like break it up and get angry. But he protects the chickens. And Big Red, you know, Big Red took the life of one of the chickens, and he's got to go. That's all there's to it.
I agree.
He lost his free ride, man. He would have had a good life. He would have had a good life here.
Oh man, chickens. Gotta love them.
If it is in fact true about Iridium, man, for whoever's listening that may know him, our condolences go to him.
Absolutely, man.
Such a good guy. Man, what a big loss, Gray, to the prepping community. What a big loss to the prepping community that is.
I'm going to try to reach out personally to him.
Man.
And I don't know if his wife has his phone or not. I know he's married. He was married. And sometimes she would answer the phone when I call. So, but yeah, crazy stuff, man. And remember, Rudy, me and you had this thing. If I ever disappear and something happens to me, you better do a great eulogy of me.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I mean, look, I'm getting gray already, man. I'm telling you, man. And when I wake up in the morning, I could barely feel my knees start cracking and popping and everything now.
I told my wife that when my time comes, I want it to be the same way it was when I retired from the Army. My captain wanted to give me a party and all of this stuff, and I said, nope, I just want to just slide away. I want to slide away without any grandstanding. Just give me my 214 and I'll be on my way. You know,
DD214.
so
I told the wife,
when I get my Pearly Gates 214, it's just time to go. No grandstanding, no nothing like that.
I know, I told the wife to take over the channel. I said, make it your channel. Do some gardening stuff. Gray, will you do an update video if you find out, please? Thanks. Jeff, I will put it in my community tab. If you're following me in the community post, it's Iridium 242, Helen.
Yep, Iridium 242.
That's his channel. He did lots of great reviews, lots of products that I bought for many years watching his channel.
Look at Dasher dumbass. Oh my goodness.
Oh God.
I mean, I guess that's very important. That's something you have to leave in your will, though, Nostradamus.
Thanks, Miss Worm. Let's see here. Retired the same way, Rudy. It's the I've never been into big parties and stuff like that, if that makes any sense. I'm a very, I guess, boring person, they say.
Hey, Gray, you want to hear a funny story? Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to hear a really funny, I think this is a very funny story, okay?
This better make me laugh. We're at an hour and a half.
Oh, you're going to laugh, man. You're going to laugh. Oh, why? We're at an hour and a half?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, people that checked out, they're going to be upset that they missed this story because it's hilarious, okay?
All right, I'm game.
All right. So before I exited the military, I was on medical. And I hadn't done PT in like 6 months, okay? Because I couldn't, you know. And I'm not going to say why or whatever, but I just couldn't, all right? And I can't even do it barely now. So anyways, my captain, he was like, hey, Sergeant, I need you to give me an I love me list. You know, things that I've done and stuff that I deserve an award for. And I was like, sir, I do not want an award. I don't need an award. I just want to slip on out of here when my time comes, and I will work till the very last minute on the day before I leave. I give you that. I give you my word on that. And he says, no way. He said, no way. You've served those many years and this and that, and you've done this and that, and you're going to get an award whether you like it or not. I'm like, okay, you know, and I really liked my captain. Captain Linder was his name. Great guy. Really good guy. Right. So I did what he told me. I went ahead and did my I love me list. This is what I've done, blah, blah, throughout my career, etc. He writes up the award. So the week before I'm supposed to start my separation leave, my captain says, hey, Sergeant, you need to go to the first sergeant's office tomorrow morning to do a height and weight because for the award, because you can't get an award if you're out of specs. And I'm like, sir, I'm not going to pass that height and weight. I said, I haven't PT'd in 6 months. And he's like, well, you got to go anyway. So I'm like, all right, but I'm telling you right now, sir, I'm not going to pass. So he's like, well, whatever happens, happens. And I'm like, all right. So I go to the first sergeant's office the next morning. Man, First Sergeant Reed was his name, right? First Sergeant Reed. And for some reason, I don't think he liked me very much. But anyways, that's besides the point. I always worked really hard when I was in the Army. You know, even on my last unit, I really worked hard, you know. But anyways, I go into his office and he says, oh, hey, listen, we're not going to be able to do it today. We'll do it first thing Monday. And I was like, yes. So I went home. I stopped drinking. I stopped eating. I just stopped doing everything. And this was Thursday morning. I went home that day and I told my wife, hey, listen, I have to go to the gym every morning, every night. I have to get on the treadmill, at least walk and put on a sweatsuit. And brother, I went back on Monday. I was so dehydrated. I was like ready to pass out. But I went back there and I got on the scale. It didn't matter what I weighed because I had to do height and weight. I never, ever passed weight in my entire military career. I was always heavier, never ever passed weight once. I was always height and weight, but I never ever got caught going above height and weight. I always made it, right? I always made my body fat. I always made it. So I go in there and I'm like, man, this is gonna be so close. And the first sergeant could smell blood in the air. He's like, I got you. I got you, Sergeant. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. Brother, I passed it by 0%. I passed my
Wow.
height and weight by 0%. I was exactly what I was allowed to be. And my first sergeant looked at me. He's like, whoa, you passed. And I was like, I know I passed. And I walked out. And the funny thing is this was all for an award, right? I didn't even get that award for like a year and a half after I got out. I was working on base and some sergeant, some staff sergeant walks in my office and he says, hey, are you AP? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, here you go. He gives me my award like a year and a half later. But anyways, I think that was pretty funny. Don't you agree?
Yeah, that's funny.
Law of the minimum. Thank you very much, law of the minimum. Do you guys know about the law of the minimum? It's a plant nutrient rule, and it applies very well to prepping. I do not know about the law of the minimum. I'm going to go ahead and type that up right now so I can look at it after we're done here.
I think it's type in. Is it Liebig's law of the minimum? It has to do with like something in resources or something like that. I remember reading about this a while back. Something
Liebig. Okay, so here, in the 19th century, the German scientist Justus von Liebig formulated the law of the minimum, which states that if one of the essential plant nutrients is deficient, plant growth will be poor even when all other essential nutrients are abundant. That's why you have to get some nutrient survival. The link is in the description of the video, and make sure you use the code AP10 for 10% off. And I mean that, Gray. Nutrient survival, you've looked at it. You were in the medical field when you were in the Army. It's got pretty much everything that you need as far as nutrients. That's why I call day number 3. If you eat nothing but nutrient survival, day number 3 is the day where you're going to feel the magic. It's going to be the day where you're going to be like, oh my goodness, I feel great. And it's true because you do. The only thing that's a con against it, I would say, is that it's vegetarian, right? And you can't live out of a can forever. That too.
Right.
You know, that's with any long-term food storage.
What I noticed when I was doing my nutrient survival, I think 14-day challenge or whatever, is it did, like, as I'm eating these meals, it got to the point where I couldn't even eat the whole meal because I was full. Like it changes the way you eat and stuff like that. Because like I would eat it and then I would be like, oh, I got to do this meal. And I was like, man, I don't even feel like eating. Like, because you're getting the nutrition that you need out of the food that you're already consuming. So I thought it was a really great experiment for myself.
I get this. Miss Worm says, Copernicus, I'm pretty sure I said hello to all of the mods when we first started, didn't we, Gray? I always forget my mods, and they're like, one of the most important things, if not the most important parts of our videos. So if I forgot to say hello to the mods, hello, ladies, and thank you for being here. An hour and 30 minutes after the live stream started. Oh, sorry if I forgot, but now that I see Ms. Warren says, do you have a PayPal account that people can donate to? Ladies and gentlemen, don't worry about that kind of stuff. I have a Buy Me a Coffee account. It's on my channel page, but don't worry about that. And let me go ahead and give my spiel that I always give when someone asks this question. If you want to do a super chat or something like that, by all means, I can't stop you from doing it, and I'm not going to say no. It's up to you. But I always ask that you do this first before you donate anything. And I'd rather you not donate. I'd rather you take whatever money you wanted to donate and go to my links down below and buy something and just use my link, and it'll help me. If you want to support, just use my Amazon link whenever you do your Amazon shopping, if you do Amazon. But if you want to support me that way, by supporting yourself and getting something that you're going to get prepared with. All right. But if you go in your pantry, for example, and you can't tell yourself, man, I am good to go. I am in that stage of my preparedness plan when I'm just filling in the gaps. I am good to go. If you can't say that, then please don't donate anything to me. Don't give me a super chat or anything like that. I'd rather you take that $5 or $10, whatever it may be, and buy yourselves 5-10 pounds of pasta if you don't have a complete pantry and your preps are not ready yet. All right. So I'd rather you do that. But thank you very much for asking. And again, if you want to support what I do, just use my links down below whenever you're going to get something anyways. Don't get something just to support, but if you're going to get it anyways, use my links down below. And that's plenty of support, ladies and gentlemen. And I truly do thank you for asking that. It really means a lot.
Yeah, I mean, outside of that, folks, I mean, always watch the commercials, you know, at least 30 seconds worth, click on a different
Yeah, that
video,
too.
like, comments, all that good stuff like that. It's anything to give the channel and the videos traction to where it gets shown to more people is beneficial to us. And that's just I guess you're using your time for that, but it's no cost to anyone to do that.
Man, hey, great. I can go on another 2 hours if you want. It's only 4:30 here.
Well, remember, next week is the 25th episode.
Next week is the 25th episode, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure that we're here, that you're here. It's going to be on Gray's channel as well. All right, so I'm going to try to promote the heck out of it on this channel to try to get all of you that normally come here to go also to Gray's channel. Because Gray, I'm not trying to put you on the spot here, but it's going to be on your channel, so you might as well be the one that does the giveaway.
We're gonna do something. We'll have to talk off screen too. I've been pondering it for the last since we talked about it.
Yeah, I actually have something. You know, I'm gonna do a little something. It's not gonna be big. Maybe for our 100th episode, it'll be something really nice, right?
Yeah, I think.
But we'll do something small, all right? I actually probably have I think I have a sponsor that owes me a giveaway. To tell you the truth. So I think we'll do that, and maybe I'll give away a couple of silver coins. And no, Gray, you can't enter, right? Yeah. You'll be part of the live stream. You can't enter. We'll do something nice, man. That'll maybe give back a little bit to all of you that always hang out here with us.
We really appreciate the support. We truly do, folks.
Hey, look at this. You know, JT, that's why you're so awesome. You know, I am terrible with remembering other birthdays also, and JT remembers that my birthday is the first week of June, and it is. Let's see. AP, do you have a link for the hybrid light review? No, I don't. But let me see if I can find it.
How old are you going to be, AP?
I'm going to be 53.
Coño.
Yeah. I'm going to be 53 years old, man. Can you believe that? Incredible.
I didn't realize you were older than me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm old, man. I'm old. Actually, I'm only 27 years old. I've just had a really hard life. I don't have a link for the review, but you can probably find it on one of my prepping on the cheap videos. And I do have all of my prepping on the cheap videos on a playlist. So if you go to the prepping on the cheap videos, there is a video where I reviewed a flashlight that was a cheap flashlight, and I compared it to the hybrid flashlight. And you'll see on that video that I took the hybrid flashlight and I flung it up in the air as high as I could twice, and it still worked. It was in the middle of winter, and that's something that I would not dare do with the cheaper flashlight. So go check that video out if you like. And again, if you want to support the channel, use my link to hybrid lights. In my opinion, they are awesome flashlights, not because they're fancy or not because they have 1,000,000 lumen, but because they hold a charge for up to 7 years. Number one, they're very rugged, they're very simple, and they're going to last pretty much the rest of your life. And they're not very expensive at all. So yeah, hybrid flashlights, I think they're great flashlights. Let's see. Good question, Helen. What is a very good vacuum sealer machine also with a jar cap vacuum sealing as well? You know what? If you're just doing prepping and that's what you're doing, and you're not using it for like a business, right? So if you need a vacuum sealer that you're not using for like a business and you're using now and then to prep, you're not using it every day, all day long, right? Man, I really like the Food Saver. One of my very first Food Saver lasted me like 10 years, and I gave it away to my son and my daughter-in-law. So it's probably still working. And then I just bought my second one about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. Absolutely no problem with it. But it's not something that I use every day, all day long. It's something that I use every once in a while when I'm putting away a prep. That's it. If that's what you're looking for, I think a Food Saver is a great vacuum sealer. Now, they do sell professional type vacuum sealers that are a lot more expensive, but they're a lot easier to use, in my opinion, and they do a much more efficient job, meaning that you can do a whole bunch in a hurry compared to how you can do it in the food saver. So you just have to look and see what it is that you're needing it for. If it's just for basic regular prepping, I would say get a food saver, whichever kind you want. I think that brand has stood the test of time. What do you think about that, Gray?
I have, that came out kind of loud. I use my food savers as well, but I do use my negative vacuum chamber a lot too.
Yeah, those
But there's
things are awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're really good, and and the reason I'm even thought about it is because I'm looking right at it, because we're about to do some rice in the machine. We have rice set up to do some of that. But the food saver does have some great options as well, depending on the one that you get. And you know what was a big hit, Rudy? I think it's over there. It's like this. If you're doing jars, I found this like one that just clips over the jars and you push the button and it takes the air out. It was just like a portable unit that you type USB Type C. But food savers has been around for the dawn of time. So, I mean, it's just a tried and true kind of situation there.
Yeah. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't own one of the negative pressure chambers like you have. And that's what I would consider something that is more for like the professional side, and or like if you're doing it a lot, because from you reviewed that machine a long time ago, right? I remember seeing you review it, and I don't remember if it was you or someone else, but it was you. And to me, the way it looks is that if you're doing a lot of things, like if you have a whole bunch of stuff to food save, what do you call it? Pressure seal, right? If you have a whole bunch of stuff to pressure seal, it's just less cumbersome than having to take the bag and put it in that little slot and then close it and press it. And then with that negative vacuum sealer you have, you just put it in there, you close the thing, and boom, it does it. You take it out, you put it in there. So to me, it seems that it's a lot easier to use for when you have a lot of stuff to vacuum seal. So if that's you, then you may want to get one of those.
Yeah, it's definitely an industrial system. Believe it or not, a lot of your local like grocers, with the way they seal the meats and stuff, they'll use machines like that as well in the back.
Absolutely. My butcher, Tommy G's, every once in a while, if I go in there, I like to get their hamburgers because they're outstanding. But anyways, when I go in there, I'll say, hey, let me get about 10 hamburgers and put 2 of them in a vacuum seal. They'll go in there, and that's exactly what they use, is that same machine. And it's so nice, especially if you're doing a lot of meats that are bloody, because it handles the liquids a lot better than a vacuum sealer. But ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a quick tip. If you're going to be vacuum sealing meats, put them in a freezer, and they don't have to be completely frozen. But once they start getting a little bit hard, you vacuum seal them, they're not going to have that problem with the liquid coming out. So you won't have to be putting a paper towel in there and all that kind of stuff that you see other people do.
Yeah, because we'll buy, like, you know, you go into the store, you buy the hamburger meat or whatever meat that you're buying, and we'll freeze it, and not freeze it totally, but like how you said, freeze it up a little bit, take it out so it's more maneuverable, and then we'll use the negative vacuum chamber to get a better seal on it. So it prevents any like that, you know, what do they call it? Where you things sit in the freezer too long. It's not frostbite. What is that thing called?
Freezer burn.
Freezer burn. There. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Jeez.
Yeah, it just does a really good job. Yeah, man. If you put meat away the right way in the freezer, it'll last years without getting freezer burn. I just took out of the freezer because we changed our freezers from one huge freezer to 2 smaller ones. And there was a piece of steak back there that was like a little over 2 years old. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. No freezer burn or nothing, because it was vacuum sealed and it was done right. And it was no problem with it. So yeah, if you do it right, it'll last a long time. Let me say hello. I just noticed that Brenda Bodwin is in our chats, and Brenda is one of our OGs as well. So hello, Brenda. It's very nice to see you in our chat. That's awesome. I just noticed your name on there. I hope that I haven't been passing you by the entire live stream, but it's really good to see you. Let's see. What else do we have here? Yeah, you can definitely do that, Helen. You can definitely vacuum seal your pasta and rice and stuff like that in mason jars. If you're going to do it for long term, however, I would highly recommend that even though you're vacuum sealing, that you just throw a 50 cc oxygen absorber in there. If it's like a quart jar, it's not going to hurt anything. In my opinion, you really don't need it because you're taking out most of the oxygen by vacuum sealing it and having that negative pressure in there, which is very important. But putting that little bit of oxygen absorber in there, even if it's a 50 cc, it's just good insurance.
And there, I mean, at this point, I mean, I'm looking over there because I got all these variations of oxygen absorbers and whatnot, and they're actually pretty affordable. That and the desiccants. I keep desiccants and oxygen absorbers on hand.
Hey, there's Ann Palmer from the great state of Louisiana. How you doing, Ann? Good to see you. Ann is in a very good mood here. Let me tell you why, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, why Ann Palmer is in a very good mood, and we can't even see her or hear her. It's because Ann Palmer is a teacher. And what's about to happen? Oh, summer break is about to hit.
Yeah.
So, Ann, I hope that you have a great summer this year. That's awesome. Well, hey, great. You know what? It's awesome, but it has to end sometime.
I know. I'm getting hungry. I know you got to be getting hungry too. It's around your dinner time.
Yeah, I'm actually not hungry. I had some oxtail for lunch.
Oh, makes sense
had
now.
like 2 or 3 small oxtails.
Oh man, today is.
Oh, look at that. We have a first timer there. As far as, yeah, Helen, it's going to work great. It is going to work great. You're going to be very happy. And in a pinch, let me tell you, in a pinch, because this works. If you don't have a vacuum sealer and all you have is mason jars, go ahead and double up on your oxygen absorbers.
Mm-hmm.
So your oxygen absorbers, if you double up and you don't vacuum seal, make sure you tighten that lid nice and tight. It will create a seal by the oxygen absorbers creating that negative pressure inside that jar. So you can do that as well. I would rather you vacuum seal with an oxygen absorber, but if you don't have a vacuum sealer, you can definitely still do it if you double up on your oxygen absorbers. Someone is going to ask this, and I'm going to answer it before they ask. How much do you put in there in the way of oxygen absorbers? Gray, do you know the scale of how big the oxygen absorber has to be as far as how big the container is?
I can go do my cheat sheet. I have a list on that wall with all the different.
Well, I can tell you. I just wanted to include you, man, because then people are going to be like, "AP, you're talking too much."
No,
right? I wanted to include you, man. But I already know it.
This is my processing area, so I have like charts and lists and all kinds of stuff sitting over there.
I mean, you know, I'm just trying to include you, man. All right. So do you mind if I tell everyone what it is?
No, go ahead, brother.
All right. So as far as oxygen absorbers and what size you need, this is how it goes. For 1 quart, you need 100 cc. All right. So for 1 gallon, you need 400 cc. Therefore, for 5 gallons, you need 2000 cc. And those are usually the sizes that we use the most when we're putting away dried goods. That's why I went quart, gallon, 5 gallon. All right. So there you go. If you want to do the math because you want to put stuff away in pints, then a pint would be 50 cc's. All right. 2 gallons would be what? What is it? 800 cc's, etc. 800 cc's. So just do the math starting with that. And that's all I got.
Just don't put any O2 absorbers in sugar.
No, you don't need to put it in sugar. You don't want to put it in sugar, and you don't need to put it in salt. All right. If you put it in salt, you pretty much just be wasting it because salt, you don't need it. Salt's a mineral. Right? It just doesn't need no O2 absorber.
If you put it in sugar, you'll have a weapon to kill somebody with.
You will, but remember, you can still use it. You just
absolutely.
You know what I would do, and I actually have a couple of containers and 2-liter bottles that have an O2 absorber and sugar. From when I first started prepping.
We've all made
I didn't know any better. But you know what I would do? I would just grate it. If you have a grater, you just cut it out and grate the sugar. That's it. Very easy.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly. Simple. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Good job, Brenda. 100 cc for quart, 4 quarts, 1 gallon, 400, etc., etc. Yep. You got it down.
I like to document and print things out and make folders and stuff. That's just who I am. So I have always reference material in case I start getting Alzheimer's or senile, you know, I start going crazy or something. I could always have something to reference.
Okay. All right, brother. I guess we're going to call it good. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. This was so much fun. I told you all, I'm not sure how many of you watched the video this morning that I put out, the news video. If you haven't, go check it out. Why? Because there's a lot of good information on there. But I told you all during that video to join in on today's live stream because we always have a lot of fun. And I think we had a lot of fun. What about you, Grady? You think we had a lot of fun today?
This was the most horrible live stream I've ever done. Oh man, no, it's always a good time, man. I love the conversations that we have and how it's just off the cuff. It's just like how we talk on the phone for hours and and the wife's like, "What are you doing?"
And I think I only saw one comment telling me to shut up.
You gotta love it. Well, it won't be a live stream at least without that once. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm gonna try to do something on the. I'm gonna try to mention it in my channel on some of my videos that I'll put out. I know I got at least 1 or 2 videos that I'm working on. I'm going to try to put a little addition in there about the 25th episode 25 and the giveaway so folks can be aware.
You know what? I'll even give Opus a call. You know, we're going to make it a big deal, at least on my side. I already got 1 giveaway that I'm owed. I probably give away a couple of AP coins, the 2024 edition. And I'll even see if I can give Opus a call and see if they can give me a little something to give away. So we'll make it fun. We'll make it a good one. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're here for our next live stream. It's going to be on Grayman's channel next Monday at 3 p.m. Alaska time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And for everyone that joined in today, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for hanging out, number one. And thank you very much for your support as well. Truly do appreciate every one of you. Make sure that you're safe out there. And we will see you on the next one. What about you, Gray? What do you have to say?
Folks, again, I want to reiterate Rudy's thing. We truly appreciate your support. Without you, there would be no us. So thank you for taking the time out of your evening and hanging out with us. And folks, remember, you folks are not alone. This is Grayman and Rudy, and that's a wrap.
All right. And thank you very much to our moderators. Thank you, ladies. Have a great evening. And God bless every one of you. All right. Bye-bye.